Oh my God. We got to get into this article, man. It seems as if Caitlin Clark has turned down $20 million. $20 million in the WNBA. Y'all acting like y'all can't get a CBA done, turning down all this bread for y'all. Listen, Caitlin, you might need to start accepting some of these bags. You might need to start accepting some of these payments.
NBA Finals, and so I'll leave it there. I mean, I'm just obviously disheartened. I'm a human too. I have a family. I have 2 kids who are devastated by these comments, and so all I'll say is just, it's obviously.
Welcome, dear viewers. I'm back with another exciting video. Thank you so much for joining me today. Let's dive right into today's topic. In the world of professional basketball, an unusual event is taking place. And for once, it's not a lost lead or a missed shot that's causing the worry. The executive suites are the source of it. When rumors began to circulate that Caitlin Clark was about to turn down a contract package reportedly worth close to $20 million, or at the very least seriously delay, the story abruptly changed. Here, we're not merely discussing a salary. We are discussing a fundamental change in power that has infuriated the league's power brokers and WNBA Commissioner Kathy Angelbert. The WNBA has had very particular control over its players for decades. Due to historically poor remuneration, the biggest stars have been forced to perform year-round, working during the off-season in Europe or China in order to ensure their financial future. To keep the machine operating, the league depended on this desperation. However, Caitlin Clark apparently turned down an offer that would have changed the lives of 99% of athletes. Her remark broke the glass ceiling of what is expected of a rookie. This is about control, not simply money. According to sources, the league is in a panic after realizing too late that they are unable to purchase Caitlin Clark. She's perched atop a Nike empire already. Millions of people adore her, and now she has the audacity to refuse. Hearing the word no is a nightmare for a commissioner who recently inked a $2 billion media rights agreement that was nearly completely dependent on Clark's involvement. However, in order to comprehend why this particular rejection is generating such turmoil, we must examine what was truly provided and why Clark's decision to walk away from it was the most destructive thing he could have done to the status quo. You must examine the contract itself in order to fully appreciate the significance of this choice. The deal being considered includes the brand-new unparalleled 3-on-3 league that WNBA stars Breanna Stewart and Nafi Sakhlier formed, but the precise numbers are subject to change. This wasn't your typical show-up-and-play deal. The offer to Clark was compared to Lionel Messi. According to reports, that is code for equity, revenue sharing, and a pay that is unprecedented in the history of women's sports. If you appreciate this content, consider giving this video a like and subscribing to the channel. Believe it or not, more than 92% of viewers haven't subscribed yet. It's free and only takes a second, but it means the world to us. So, did you subscribe already? Great. Thank you so much for your support. Now, back to the video. We are discussing a possible package that, when paired with a marketing campaign, may have allowed to surpass $10 to $20 million in overall value creation over time. The unparalleled league was created to keep WNBA players at home during the off-season by compensating them sufficiently to avoid having to risk injury in foreign leagues, but they need the golden goose to make it work. Caitlin Clark is essential. The league would be nothing more than a collection of all-stars without her. It's a worldwide sensation with her. According to reports, the organizers offered her everything except the building's keys. They anticipated a speedy signature. Who declines that sort of equity? After all, the basketball world fell silent when Clark's camp failed to accept the offer right away. It was a deafening hush. Clark deprived the NENT League of its most valuable marketing resource by refusing to commit. She demonstrated that she valued her time more than their money with this flex. Her legitimacy is necessary for the unparalleled league to get their own huge TV deals and sponsorships. Clark demonstrated that her brand is powerful enough to exist on its own by refusing to sign right away to remain relevant. She doesn't have to sign up for a startup league. She is essential to the upstart league survival. The front office began to perspire for other reasons as well. Now, why is WNBA Commissioner Kathy Angelbert allegedly so incensed over a contract that in theory involves a rival league? Because everything is interconnected in today's sports world. An unprecedented $2 billion 11-year media rights agreement was just reached by the WNBA. When compared to earlier transactions, that figure is astounding. And let's face it, without the Caitlin Clark effect, that valuation would not exist because people anticipate seeing number 22 on their televisions as frequently as possible. The networks paid that sum of money. The WNBA is in danger if Clark declines to play over the offseason, or worse, if this decision indicates that she wants to step back and control her workload. Clark's visibility must be maximized as part of the league's growth strategy. 12 months a year, they need her in the news cycle. The momentum slows down if she chooses to take a 4-month break to disappear, rest, music, and recuperate. A loss of control is the cause of the front office's enraged response. They are accustomed to players who are in dire need of attention. Clark is the complete opposite. She is overexposed and understands that value is created by scarcity. Angel Burt is under tremendous pressure to achieve ratings in the music industry. We witnessed what transpired over the Olympic vacation. When Clark wasn't playing, there was less talk about the WNBA. The WNBA will lose its free marketing tool if Clark chooses to use her off-season only for training and vacation. The commissioner is aware that ESPN, Amazon, and NBC are partners and demand a return on their investment. Caitlin Clark's reclusiveness and arrest are beneficial to her, but they are detrimental to the ongoing content industry. The league executives are further embarrassed by the financial reality check that brings in at this point. You have to look at the bank account to comprehend the level of confidence needed to decline an 8-figure offer. Caitlin Clark reportedly agreed to an 8-year contract worth $28 million with Nike. Incentives and a signature shoe are part of the arrangement, which probably raises the value even further. Her annual salary from just one contract exceeds the lifetime earnings of the majority of WNBA players. The relationship is altered by this forget-you money. Music. The majority of rookies in the NFL start out living paycheck to paycheck or at the very least contract to contract. Every appearance, every secondary league, and every sponsorship must be accepted. As the CEO of her own company, Clark joined the league. She gets paid $76,000 by the WNBA, which is basically gas money. A rounding error has occurred. The WNBA and its partner leagues cannot get her to dance by dangling money in front of her because she is already financially secure. The establishment is irritated by this. Money is typically the leash. We'll pay you a bonus if you complete this media tour. You can purchase a home if you participate in this league. Without them, Clark may purchase the neighborhood. Because she is financially independent, she may make choices based only on her desires rather than her requirements. And it appears that she wants to be independent of the system at the moment. However, Clark may be turning down these opportunities to continue playing year-round for a more sinister and private reason. She had a terrible freshman season. We are discussing more than the transition to the professional game. We are discussing the physical abuse she experienced. Clark suffered a lot during the season, from the blindside hip check by Kennedy Carter to the persistent aggression from Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky. Fans and commentators demanded that the league step in to save their most valuable asset, but Commissioner Angel Burt and the officials mainly ignored it, calling it welcome to the league moments. Clark received a clear message from the failure to impose bans or harsher punishments for non-basket plays. You're on your own. Why would she enroll in more then? Why would she enter the unparalleled league or have any other off-season commitment where she might run into the same players who have been after her for months? Clark is putting her physical survival first by turning down the offer. After playing more minutes and taking more hits than nearly anybody else during the season, she is allowing her body to recover. It's a subliminal critique of the league's inability to keep her safe. She will stay at home to protect herself if the WNBA is unable to do so. Music. Unquestionably, the league's locker rooms are feeling the fallout from this rejected proposal, adding gasoline to an already uncontrollable fire. Imagine being a seasoned athlete who has won titles, been the MVP, and led the league for 10 years, but has never received a check for more than $250,000. Then a novice enters and casually declines millions of dollars. Respect and resentment are mixed together in an odd way. Veterans who believe Clark hasn't paid her dues have been spreading allegations about a cruel girl's energy focused at her throughout the season. It could be interpreted as a lack of unity if she declines the unmatched money that Stewart and Keir, two of her peers, are offering. Because it increases their pay, The other players want this league to be successful. The league loses money if Clark doesn't play, which lowers the earnings of the other players. By choosing not to participate, Clark is unintentionally taking money away from her competitors. The N-Cord product becomes even more tense as a result. The cycle is vicious. Because of the attention she received, the veterans targeted her. She is now leaving their endeavors due to the targeting, which costs them money and increases animosity. Music. The commissioner is aware that is a ticking time bomb for the league's reputation because he can see the poison building. This brings up a terrible idea for the future of the WNBA. Silently giving up. In the business sector, it's referred to as quiet quitting, which is simply doing what your job description specifies. No working extra hours or going above and beyond. Caitlin Clark seems to be using this in the WNBA. She appears. She scores 20 points and provides 10 assists. After completing her required media appearances, she departs. She is setting a clear boundary by turning down the additional contracts, the off-season excitement, and the larger responsibilities. The WNBA's financial model depends on players being evangelists. Therefore, this scares the league. Due to the historically low marketing budget, gamers must continuously promote the game. It is not necessary for Clark to evangelize. The gospel is her. This strategy of quietly resigning is a power move. The league is compelled to approach her. As a result, music, they need to provide something more than money. If they want her to perform more, perhaps better circumstances for travel. One major source of dispute was charter flights, improved officiating or security. She is negotiating by remaining silent and not showing up. In order to maintain the engagement of their celebrity, she is pressuring the league to upgrade all of its infrastructure, including music. Since the current situation is a great microcosm of the bigger issue, let's examine it more closely. Breanna Stewart and Nafi Sakalir established the league as a solution to the foreign issue. They attracted investors with promises of large compensation. However, it's possible that every investor who invested in Unrivaled assumed Caitlin Clark would be the company's spokesperson. By turning down that offer, Clark is not only rejecting basketball, but also undermining the new league's valuation. Stewart and Collier are put in a difficult situation as a result. They may have to start their business without the sport's main attraction. The establishment stars who believed they could just call Clark and she would show up are humiliated by this. This rejection also draws attention to the differences between Clark's new wave and the Yukon John Legacy Click music. She doesn't belong to their group. She didn't visit Yukon. She is not a member of the family. She is unpredictable since she continues to be an outsider by maintaining her independence. Unpredictability is detested by the WNBA. They desire a story that is under control. Clark is not going along with the plan. The background of Kathy Angelbert's recent public missteps cannot be disregarded either. A significant section of the fanbase was turned off by her terrible CNBC interview in which she failed to denounce the racism and hate speech thrown at Clark. It probably made Clark uncomfortable as well. Imagine your employer appearing on national television and declining to stand up for you against hate speech because she wants to maintain the competition narrative in order to increase viewership. The trust was shattered at that instant. For what reason would Clark help the commissioner? Given that the league's head sees her as merely a cog in the revenue engine, why would she sign agreements that benefit the league's partners? It is possible to see the $20 million deal's rejection as a direct reaction to such lack of leadership. It's a vote of no confidence. It has become brutally clear that the commissioner is too preoccupied with expanding the pie to give a damn about the ingredients. So, Clark is handling her own career. Some would argue that Clark is making a mistake. They'll tell you that you must strike while the iron is hot. However, it appears that Clark's crew has a deeper understanding than the WNBA. Burnout is a real thing. Young athletes who are pushed too hard and too quickly have burned out in other sports. Clark is investing in her longevity by declining the money to relax. Instead of 5 years, she wants to play for 15. She has been playing high-intensity basketball non-stop for 18 months due to the WNBA schedule and the recent NCAA tournament run. Her legs are worn out. She is mentally exhausted. The league's enraged response is misguided. They want her to play now in order to get rapid money. The long game is what Clark is doing. She is aware that she will lose more than a season if she is hurt in a pointless 3-on-3 game in January. Her trajectory is lost. Even though the league is upset that they can't take advantage of this moment, she is defending the asset. What does this mean for us now? Caitlin Clark is chilled while the commissioner is furious. The investors are perspiring and the veterans are sneering. The key narrative of the offseason is this impasse. It demonstrates that the days of WNBA players becoming pawns are over. The league cannot solve the issue by throwing money at it. The culture needs to be fixed. Physical targeting, music, travel concerns, and media toxicity must all be addressed. Clark must be treated as a partner rather than as a cash cow. She has $28 million reasons to stay at home and practice her step-back three in a private gym until they accomplish it. The story doesn't end with a $20 million deal being rejected. The talent is the leverage in this new chapter. And that is a terrible, angry reality to wake up to for a league that has been set in its ways for 2,048 years. Ultimately, this circumstance exposes a hard reality about the WNBA. For Caitlin Clark, they were unprepared. They weren't prepared for the focus. They were unprepared for the hatred. Furthermore, they weren't prepared for a novice who doesn't require their money. Commissioner Angelbert is free to be as angry as she pleases. She can call sponsors, conduct meetings, and become anxious over quarterly forecasts. However, she is unable to compel Caitlin Clark to sign the contract. The biggest star surpasses the Shield for the first time in league history. Just by remaining motionless, Clark has revealed the foundation's fissures. She purchased herself something invaluable by walking away from $20 million. Liberty. The WNBA is afraid because of this. You can't control a player that you can't purchase. They have to wonder what Caitlin Clark will do next if they are unable to manage her. Regardless of whether the commissioner approves of it or not, you can expect that everyone will be watching.